10 science facts that are actually not true. Myth number 1. Water conducts electricity. While this is a science myth, it doesn't mean you should bring your toaster in the bath with you. The reason you shouldn't swim in a lightning storm doesn't have to do with the water itself. Pure water is actually an insulator, which means it doesn't conduct electricity. The danger comes from the minerals and chemicals in it, which are made up of electrically charged ions. While pure water is theoretically safe around electricity, it's nearly impossible to find in the real world because even distilled water has iron. Myth number 2. Blood is blue in your body. A widely shared myth is that blood is blue until it is exposed to air or replenishes its oxygen. Because veins are a greenish blue, that theory sounds reasonable enough, but the fact is, human blood looks the same in your body as outside that hue is brighter when it's oxygen-rich and darker when it needs that oxygen replenished, but it's red all the same. The tissue covering your veins affects how the light is absorbed and scattered, which is why the blood circulating your body looks blue. Myth number 3. Dinosaurs were scaly beasts. The giant, scaly lizards you see in Jurassic Park probably don't look that close to what actual dinosaurs look like. While scientists are still debating what the oldest and biggest species were covered with, one thing is for sure, at least some had feathers. Velociraptor arm fossils have bumps that look just like the ones keeping modern birds' wings in place, and the bones of a Siberian species discovered in 2014 were surrounded by imprints of feathers. While some scientists argue larger species like the Tyrannosaurus rex didn't need big feathers, others theorize that they had at least some form of light feathering, like how elephants are mammals but don't have thick fur. Myth number 4. Humans only use 10% of their brains. The idea of unlocking hidden brain power might make a compelling storyline for a movie, but it simply doesn't work that way in real life. One fact playing into the myth is that 90% of brain cells are white matter that help neurons survive, and only 10% is the grey matter of neurons in charge of thinking. But that white matter could never be used for brain power, so claiming 90% of our brain is wasted is like saying you waste peanuts when you throw out the shells. Any MRI scan will show you that even saying a few words lights up way more than 10% of your brain. Scientists haven't uncovered any area of the brain, much less 90% of it, that doesn't affect thought, movement, or emotion in some capacity. Myth number 5. The Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure you can see from the moon. Interestingly, this myth has been around at least since 1932, when a Ripley's Believe It or Not cartoon deemed the Great Wall of China to be the mightiest work of man, the only one that would be visible to the human eye from the moon. Of course, that was almost 30 years before a machine would touch down on the moon, so the claim was entirely unfounded. Astronauts have now confirmed that even the Great Wall actually can't be seen from space, except at low altitude. Even at those relatively low heights, it's actually easier to see roads and plain runways, whose colors don't blend into the ground like the Great Wall's dot. Myth number 6. Chameleons change color to match their surroundings. Yes, chameleons can change color by stretching and relaxing cells that contain crystals, which affects how the light is reflected. They can't change to any color to match their surroundings, though, and their color changes don't have much to do with camouflage. Instead, chameleons use the crystals mainly for communication. Dark colors signal aggression, like when a female doesn't want to mate, but also temperature control. Lighter colors reflect the heat. Number 7. Neanderthals were a less evolved human ancestor. First of all, let's get one thing straight. Neanderthals aren't ancestors to modern humans. The two species lived at the same time, mostly in different areas of the globe. When the species did cross paths, there's even evidence that they interbred. But evidence doesn't suggest they were cognitively inferior to humans. Fossils show Neanderthals made tools, used fire, cleaned their teeth, ate medicinal plants, buried their dead, and maybe even cared for their sick and wounded. Scientists no longer think Homo sapiens wiped out their Neanderthal cousins. Neanderthals likely were already dying out as the climate changed, while modern humans' trade networks, diverse diets, and innovative tools helped them survive. Myth number 8. Earth is the only planet with water. Of course, we have yet to find any intelligent life living off interstellar water, but H2O isn't unique to Earth. Dark streaks that change on Mars suggest there isn't just ice on the red planet. Liquid salt water likely flows on it. What's more, NASA discovered that beneath a layer of ice on Jupiter's moon Europa, there's an ocean containing twice as much water as we have on Earth. Could faraway planets with water sustain intelligent life? Only time will tell. Myth number 9. It takes 7 years to digest chewing gum. Don't freak out if you can't find a trash can and need to swallow your gum. The truth is that your body can't digest gum, not even in 7 years. That doesn't mean it sticks inside your system, though. It will pass through your digestive system without being broken down, then come out in the bathroom like anything else. If kids swallow too much, the gum could block their intestines, but that's extremely rare. Myth number 10. Ostriches bury their heads in the sand. The birds would die of suffocation if they actually stuck their heads underground when scared. Instead, they actually lie with their head and neck flat against the ground if a predator is approaching. Their light-colored head and neck blend in with the ground, which could explain why people assumed their heads were underground from far away, according to the San Diego Zoo.